Hello, welcome and welcome back to a new Unreal Engine video. Have you ever wanted to make like a maze system for puzzles or even replacing the meshes to create like a cave system? Well, that's what we're going to be doing today. So I've got a blueprint actor here, and this is just going to have a hierarchical instance static mesh set to a custom cube that's 250 by 250 by 250. So just slightly bigger so the player can walk through it. And I'm using the hierarchical here just as is. You could use a regular mesh component to create like destructible walls if you wanted to and things like that. Actors even by spawning them in. But we have a few variables here. We have a integer array that's going to be our maze. We have a width, height, and a depth. We've got a few custom functions here. We've got notably the toIndex, which is going to convert x, y, z to an array index here for a maze. That's just going to do a bit of math. This is a pure function. This one, the inbounds, is just going to check our bounds to check when we do the math to check to see if it's like our variable is in bounds of the width, height, and depth. You have an index to 3D, which is basically the reverse of the toIndex, and this does a bunch of math to convert the index to an x, y, and z position. Now to get started, we have the construction script that's going to do a generate maze. And here what we're going to do is on the start, we're going to do a quick sequence because we want to check to see if our width, our height, and our depth are all not powers of 2. So they have to be odd numbers. If they are even, we'll just increment them just so we can have it that way. And then what we're going to do is we're going to fill the maze with all ones. So we're just going to fill the maze with just ones. I mean, that's what this is doing. Then what we're going to do is we're going to go to another sequence. And what we're going to do is we're going to set up the toIndex for our start position. This is going to be our door, effectively. So we're going to first set it to 0. That'll be our door. And then we'll carve it. And then with the carve here, what we're going to do is we're going to have a few local variables for this, and we're going to have directions. We're going to have an ny, nx, nz for new x, new y, new z, things like that. And we've got this directions, which is an int vector of 6 different positions because you want to go +2 in the x, -2 in the x, +2 in the y, -2 in the y, +2 in the z, -2 in the z. And that's how you're going to carve it. And every time we go to this carve, we're going to shuffle those directions. We're going to loop through those directions. We'll break that. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take the x, y, and z that we get in from here. We'll add these up, and then we'll set those new variables, new x, new y, and new z, those local variables to this. We're also going to do a quick calculation down here. We're going to take this, divide these by 2, each one, and then we're going to add those again. So we're just going to do 2 adds basically here, and we'll just convert this to an index. Now this will be used at the end. When I zoom out, you can see it. We'll follow it back. So we'll set up those variables. Then what we want to do is we want to use that inbound. So we just check to see if the new x, the new y, new z is within the width, the height, and the depth. And that's all that's going to do. Just make sure that our point is within bounds. And if it is, we'll continue. Then what we'll do is we'll convert those new x, new y, and new z to an index. We'll grab the index. We'll check to see if it's 1. You can even check to see if it's a different variable. But we're using 0s for paths, 1s for walls. So that's what that's going to be. And then if it is a 1 here, so if it is a 1, so if we haven't set it to 0 already, we're going to set it to 0. That's what this entire thing, that the long rant is basically, we're going to take 1 and convert it to 0 if it's the 1. And then here we're going to take that converted value that was all the way down here, and we're going to set that array as well. So we're basically doing we're going to do the direction that we're moving set to 0 as well. So that way we can create like a set path. Because we're moving in 2s, right, for the maze, but we need to have a 1 path for our walkway effectively. So we set it, and then we set a walkway path, and then we do our actual recursive call using those new variables to the carve method again, and that's going to carve it again. So if you got all that, that's basically the entire carve. Now if we head back into the generate maze here off this second sequence, what we'll do is we'll loop through that maze array, and we'll just check to see if it's a 1. And if it is, we will add a instance to that hierarchical instance static mesh. And this is here where we'll just take that index, we'll convert the index to 3D, we'll multiply it by whatever size your box is. So mine is a 250 by 250 by 250 box, so we multiply that, and then we just add it, create the transform, and just add it. And that is pretty much it. Now to see the results, this is the results, of course. We can see that there. We can also see it in the viewport. Let's check it out here. And so we can walk into it. We can walk into the maze, and it is carved. Not sure how this is going to come out, but it is It is carved in a maze-like fashion to, yeah, that's pretty much it. It's just carved in a maze-like fashion. And I'll hop out of camera and we can take a quick look around it. Now, the nice thing about this is because it is a dynamically generated maze type of thing. If we hop back in to, let's say, here, actually, we set back here, we'll set all these to public. We'll click on this. We'll go and find this. I think it should be somewhere around here with variables, maybe not, but if we update this from 11, let's see, height. So the width is, I believe, height is this way and width is this way. And then depth is up and down. So as you can see, we have 3 for the depth now. If we move this up to, let's say, 5, it'll pop up. Now, can you guess what's going to happen? Because of the way the maze carving is going to work. You guessed it. We're going to now have multiple floors of maze if it worked. There it is. There we go. We can go up. We can go up to the maze and it'll be have another floor. We can go down. It is a downward maze. And then we've got some paths down that way. We've got a path dead end over here. And we've got another path up here to go up. Now, if you replace this with now I don't think I have any rocks or anything sitting around. But if we were to change this to a rock, maybe rock thing, let's see. I don't think I have any rocks loaded. No, I don't. But you can change this to various various meshes. You can even, instead of using the hierarchical instead of static mesh, you can create custom components and just attach it to the actor at the position, because all you're doing is a position calculation. So you can generate whatever you want here, and that should be your maze and your cave. Well, guys, I hope you found that helpful and enjoyable. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.